Hi, this is question 13 and it's a question involving the sine rule. So what we've been asked to do is find the length AB, which is this one, which I'm going to call X, and we've got to give the answer correct to one decimal place. So just to begin with, I'm just going to explain what the sine rule is. So you could always skip this a little bit if you're already familiar with it. But I'm going to explain first of all how we have a standard triangle which we notate like that. So ABC represents the angles, and that's in uppercase. And then the side opposite that is written in lowercase. So we can see we've got the A there is the opposite side, and that's in lowercase. And we can see the B there is also lowercase, and that's the side opposite angle B, similarly for that one. So the sine rule tells me that if I take sine of an angle and I divide it by the opposite length, then all the fractions are going to be the same if I do it for any of them. So I can also say that sine B over its opposite length is equal to sine C over its opposite length. And we might use it that way up if we were finding an angle. And if we were finding a length, we could flip them all. So we could also say, well, that means that A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. And we generally use this when we haven't got a right angle in a triangle. So if we've got a right angle in the triangle, we'd probably be using just standard SOHCAHTOA. So I'm just going to rub that out and make a bit of space. So in our case here, we're looking for this one X, and we've also been given this length and these two angles, and we're going to need to find this third angle, which isn't going to be too difficult to do because we've got two of the angles in a triangle already. So this one here, if I use three-letter notation for it, BAC, the angle being at the mid letter there, the center letter, we can say, well, that's going to be 180 degrees minus the other two added, so minus the 34 plus the 26, and if I do that, that's 180 minus 60, which is 120. So we've found this angle here, 120, and that's useful because what we can do, we can use the sine rule now because we've got an opposite pair of angle and length there, and also with those two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, as the sine rule would tell me, X over sine of its opposite angle, 34, is equal to 23.8 over its opposite angle when we take the sine of it. There we go. And we could do calculations at that stage, but we're going to make it a bit easier just by multiplying both sides by sine 34, and that's going to give us 23.8 times sine 34, so that's just a bit of a rearrangement there, over sine 120. And to do that, obviously we're on the calculator paper for this, so I'm going to need to use my calculator, and here it is. So we're going to use a fraction button. We're going to use 23.8 times by sine 34, and then that's over sine 120. There we go. Going to press equals, obviously. So that's 15.367, a few more decimal places after that. So I'm just going to write down a few of the decimal places to begin with. So 15.367, ... just to show it's carrying on from there. And then we've got to do it to one decimal place, so that just means cutting it off at that point. And so, because the 6 is 5 or more, then we're going to add 1 onto the 3. So that's going to become 15.4, and importantly, we also need to use the correct units. So we can see the 23.8 was in centimetres, so we're going to actually do the same for this one. That's going to be centimetres as well. There we go, and we've done it. So I hope that's been helpful to you, and if it has, please give our video a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.